One night for Dodger fans. You could feel the electricity pulsing through the ballpark from the very first pitch. It was one of those games that reminds everyone why baseball still captures the heart like no other sport can. The kind of game where every swing feels like history being written in real time. And at the center of it all, once again, stood Shohei Ohtani, the player who keeps redefining what it means to be a superstar. This guy isn't just good. He's rewriting the rules of what's possible on a baseball diamond. 4 hits and 4 at-bats before Toronto decided enough was enough. 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and then they just stopped pitching to him altogether. You could see it in the Blue Jays dugout, pure resignation. They knew he wasn't human last night, so they walked him 5 straight times, waving the white flag to one of the most dominant performances ever seen in a World Series game. The beauty of it all was that Ohtani didn't just dominate. He made it look effortless. His eyes were locked in like he was watching the ball in slow motion, like every pitch came to him the size of a beach ball. Fans were on their feet after every at-bat, realizing they were witnessing something that might never happen again. This wasn't just a good night. It was the kind of performance you tell your kids about. And the best part? He's doing it in Dodger blue. For decades, people have thrown around the name Babe Ruth anytime a player does something extraordinary. But now, you have to start thinking the comparison works the other way around. Ruth was the Ohtani of his time, not the other way around. Shohei keeps raising the ceiling for what we thought was humanly possible in baseball. Even the broadcasters could barely keep up. They're supposed to describe what's happening, put into context, but Ohtani leaves everyone speechless. Every time he steps to the plate, he's capable of something we've never seen before. And it's not just about the numbers, it's the feeling. You can sense that every opposing pitcher is terrified to face him. Toronto was intentionally walking him to load the bases with Hall of Fame caliber hitters waiting behind him. Imagine that. They'd rather take their chances with anyone else on the planet than throw one more pitch to Shohei Ohtani. That's not strategy. That's survival instinct. And while Ohtani stole the spotlight early, this game turned into something far bigger. It became a true team war, an 18-inning marathon that tested every ounce of grit in the Dodgers roster. Everyone played a part, from the stars to the guys who usually stay quiet in the background. Every single one of them stepped up when the team needed them. That's the beauty of October baseball. You never know who's going to turn into a hero. And last night, out of nowhere, Will Klein became that guy. When Klein took the mound in the 15th inning, you could almost feel the collective anxiety in Dodger Stadium. The bullpen was empty, the arms were spent, and the next mistake could have ended the night. But instead of crumbling under the pressure, Klein rose to the moment like he'd been waiting his entire life for it. 4 innings of near-perfect baseball, 72 pitches of pure heart and determination. And the crazy thing is, this is a guy who had never thrown more than 33 pitches in a major league game. His career ERA was above 5, but none of that mattered anymore. In that moment, he became a legend. He threw strikes with confidence, challenged hitters, and looked like he belonged in the spotlight. You could see the energy from his teammates in the dugout. They knew they were watching something special. The fans knew it too. Every pitch had that do-or-die intensity, and Klein just kept delivering. When he walked off the mound, the crowd roared like it was a walk-off home run. It was one of those defining moments that shows exactly why this team is so loved. And the story behind Klein makes it even better. This wasn't some highly touted prospect everyone had been waiting for. He was designated for assignment earlier in the year, a name most casual fans wouldn't even recognize. The Mariners let him go, and the Dodgers picked him up quietly, just hoping for a little depth. Nobody could have predicted he'd end up being the hero of an 18-inning World Series game. Since joining the team in late June, he'd quietly delivered, allowing runs in only 3 of his 14 appearances. The coaches knew he had something in him, but this was beyond anyone's imagination. By the time the Dodgers finally walked it off, Klein had done his job, drained but triumphant. You could see it in his face. He knew this was the kind of night that could change a career. He'll probably never throw another pitch in this series after emptying the tank like that, but his name is now forever tied to this game. One night, one chance, and he made it count. That's the essence of postseason baseball. And then there's Ohtani again, smiling like a kid in Little League even after the chaos of 15-plus innings. Jumping on teammates, laughing, celebrating like he wasn't the reason everyone was there in the first place. That joy is contagious. It's what makes fans fall in love with him even more. For all his superhuman talent, he plays the game with genuine passion, like he can't believe how much fun he's having. Watching him and the team celebrate after such a long, grueling battle reminded everyone what this game is supposed to be about. Every player in a Dodger uniform contributed in some way. Teoscar Hernandez was another key piece, opening the scoring with a big home run early in the game and making crucial plays in right field. Even guys who had struggled at times this season showed up when it mattered most. The chemistry was undeniable. You could feel that sense of unity, of everyone pulling for each other. When Ohtani tied the game with his solo home run in the 7th inning, it felt like destiny had taken over. And when the game finally ended, with Freeman's heroic swing sending everyone home, it was pure euphoria. Clayton Kershaw, who might have just thrown his last pitch as a professional, got his moment too. A third of an inning that meant everything to him and to the fans who've been with him since the start. The bullpen was stretched to its absolute limit, every single arm used. Yet somehow they held it together. From Kershaw to Sheehan to Enriquez, every name mattered. It was a night that defined teamwork, resilience, and the soul of the sport. What made it even more special was the feeling that Dodger Stadium itself was alive. The energy didn't fade, even as the innings dragged deep into the night. Every fan stayed on edge, waiting for that one moment to explode. And when it finally came, when Freeman's swing sent the ball soaring and the crowd erupted, it was like every ounce of tension vanished in a single heartbeat. Ohtani reached base 9 times over the course of the game, breaking records left and right. The most times any player has reached base in postseason history was 8. He just topped that. It's almost ridiculous how easily he continues to surpass expectations. Every time people start to think they've seen the best of him, he goes out and raises the bar again. The Dodgers knew what they were getting when they brought him to Los Angeles, but no one could have imagined just how much he'd mean to this team, this city, and this sport. For fans watching from home, it was impossible not to get emotional. You didn't even need to be a Dodgers supporter to appreciate the greatness unfolding. This was baseball at its finest, the drama, the strategy, the heart, and the heroes nobody saw coming. And knowing that this isn't over yet, that there are still games to play, just adds to the anticipation. If this is what Game 3 looked like, then the rest of the series is going to be something unforgettable. After a game like that, it's hard to even imagine how the Dodgers can possibly top it, but that's what makes this team so captivating. There's a feeling around this group that no matter what obstacle stands in front of them, someone will find a way to step up. It might be Ohtani setting the tone early, or it might be a guy like Will Klein coming out of nowhere to save the day. That's the beauty of this roster. It's not just built on star power. It's built on trust, on believing that every single player wearing that uniform has something to contribute. You could see it in the dugout, the way they leaned over the railing, cheering for each other, living every pitch together. That unity is what separates a good team from a championship team. And that bond was tested like never before in this marathon of a game. 18 innings of pure survival. And the Dodgers found a way to outlast one of the toughest teams in baseball. You could see it on the players' faces by the end. They were drained, sweaty, exhausted, but they refused to give in. Toronto threw everything they had, but Los Angeles just kept answering. That's what makes this win so sweet. It wasn't about one lucky bounce or a mistake from the other side. It was earned pitch by pitch, swing by swing. What stands out most is how this team manages to blend experience and youth so seamlessly. You've got veterans like Freeman and Kershaw showing leadership through every inning, and then you've got younger arms like Sheehan, Enriquez, and Klein proving that they belong on this stage. Enriquez, in particular, was electric. 2 innings of flawless work. No hits, no walks, just pure command. That kind of poise from a young pitcher in the middle of a World Series game says everything about the depth and preparation this organization builds into its players. It's the Dodgers way. Next man up, no excuses, no fear. When Ohtani tied the game with that solo shot, the energy in the stadium flipped instantly. You could feel that shift, the collective realization that the Dodgers weren't going away. And from that point on, it felt like destiny was leaning their way. Even when Toronto's bullpen managed to hold the line, you could see cracks forming. The longer the game went, the more confident Los Angeles became. They were feeding off the crowd, feeding off each other, and feeding off the momentum of every defensive stop, every clutch pitch. Teoscar Hernandez deserves a ton of credit too. His bat gave the Dodgers an early spark, but it was his defense that might have saved the night. He made a couple of throws from right field that stopped potential runs at the plate, turning what could have been disaster into celebration. Plays like that often get overlooked in the box score, but in games like this, they change everything. That's the kind of all-around effort that makes this team so dangerous. Every guy finds a way to impact the game, whether it's with a glove, a bat, or even just keeping the dugout fired up. And speaking of fire, you can't ignore the emotion that poured out of Ohtani all night. Usually, he's calm, collected, almost stoic as he rounds the bases. But last night, he was pure energy, pumping his fists, shouting toward his teammates, smiling like a kid who just hit his first home run. It was raw, it was real, and it was contagious. Even the veterans were feeding off his joy. You could tell that this meant something special to him. Not just the stats or the history, but the feeling of being part of something bigger. The crowd picked up on that, too. Every cheer got louder. Every chant of his name echoed a little longer. It was like the whole city of Los Angeles was riding the same emotional wave. Clayton Kershaw's brief appearance was another powerful moment. Just 1/3 of an inning, but it felt heavy, meaningful. Fans knew it could be the last time he ever takes the mound in Dodger blue. When he walked off, the ovation said everything. A career defined by excellence, heartbreak, redemption, and now, possibly, one final chance to go out as a champion. It's poetic that in a game full of fresh heroes, the old guard still found a way to play their part. The bullpen, as a whole, deserves endless praise. Every arm that stepped on that mound carried the weight of the city. Glasnow gave everything he had. Bonda came in and did his job. Then one by one, the relievers pieced together a masterpiece of endurance. Even when one stumbled, another was there to clean it up. It was chaotic, it was nerve-wracking, but it was also beautiful in its own messy way. That's what postseason baseball is. It's not always clean or perfect, but when a team refuses to break, it becomes unforgettable. Freddie Freeman's walk-off moment will live forever in Dodger lore. You could feel it building for innings. He'd been quiet most of the night, grinding through tough at-bats, but when the time came, he delivered like the superstar he is. That swing was the exclamation point on everything the Dodgers had fought for over those 18 innings. As soon as the ball left his bat, the crowd erupted, and for a moment the entire city froze in celebration. The players poured onto the field, tackling each other, shouting, laughing, crying. It was everything you love about this game wrapped into one perfect ending. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. Whispers are swirling through the baseball world, and if the murmurs hold any truth, the Los Angeles Dodgers are about to pull off a seismic shift in their pitching rotation. All signs point to Corbin Burnes, the ace with the flamethrower and the golden arm, possibly packing his bags for the City of Angels. Sources close to the team hint that talks are heating up, and if a deal goes through, the Dodgers' rotation could become one of the most fearsome in recent memory. Burnes, who has dazzled fans with his electric fastball and pinpoint control, would not just be another addition. He would instantly become the linchpin of the Dodgers' pitching staff. Imagine Clayton Kershaw mentoring this new talent while the rest of the rotation adjusts to the presence of a proven ace. The potential for dominance is enormous, and rival teams are already buzzing with speculation. Could this be the start of a new dynasty in Los Angeles? The very idea has pundits and fans alike on the edge of their seats. While official confirmation is still absent, insiders suggest that negotiations have reached an advanced stage and only minor details remain unresolved. The Dodgers, known for their aggressive pursuit of championship-caliber talent, seem determined to leave no stone unturned. Meanwhile, Burns' camp has remained tight-lipped, fueling further intrigue. Social media is aflame with rumors, and baseball talk shows are devoting entire segments to what could be the blockbuster acquisition of the season. If it happens, the Dodgers would be sending a clear message. They're not just contenders. They are hungry, bold, and willing to reshape the landscape of the National League. Fans are dreaming of postseason glory, while the league braces for the seismic shockwaves of a rotation suddenly led by one of baseball's most formidable pitchers. Corbin Burns to the Dodgers. Rumor or reality? For now, it's a tantalizing whisper that refuses to be ignored. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.